So today in episode 2 of Games That Define Genres, let's look at open world RPGs, 3D platformers, and boomer shooters. Let's start this off by talking about open world RPGs. Every game nowadays thinks it too should be open world, but that's so wrong. It should be a hero shooter. Those are doing great. And the first open world RPGs we're going to look at today are Oblivion and Fallout New Vegas.
Hello, traveler. Let's talk about Oblivion. I'm gonna die in this pit now. See you.
Oblivion was revolutionary for its time. Its NPCs had daily tasks in which they'd go about their normal lives. Its questing system had multiple different branching outcomes for each decision that you made, and its world was vast with dense forests and rich dungeons. Playing Oblivion for the first time was an aha moment that inspired so many open world RPGs that we play today. From a story perspective though, no game has been more influential than Fallout New Vegas. The weaving narrative of its post-apocalyptic world is enthralling, and the way it reacts to the player is unlike anything we've seen even to today. While its gunplay may be lacking and its irradiated world may be a bit of an eyesore, it's undeniable that Fallout New Vegas is one of the greatest open world RPGs ever created. Next, after that, we have The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 has one of the greatest open worlds ever designed, and it also has Geralt in a bathtub. Taking place on the creatively named The Continent, you'll embark on a bunch of weird side quests to kill evil babies, usurp the throne, and explore a beautiful, dense, open world. Nothing feels like a task in The Witcher, as each mission feels like part of an intricate web of narrative design. This narrative design and the presentation of it are what make The Witcher stand out. The quality of this narrative is higher than most linear games that came out around the same time, and it makes this an unmissable experience, one which pushed the genre forward in a myriad of ways. And finally, we have Elden Ring. I don't gotta say much about Elden Ring. It's big Dark Souls, and I like that kind of thing. But Elden Ring's biggest contribution to the open world RPG genre is its interconnected world design. Both in the DLC and in the main game, the way the world comes together is utterly breathtaking. From portals that take you to new places to paths that sneak you around and under, from world scale to level scale, it all works together in a way that makes it feel real. Happening upon an underground cavern that's filled with stars, or fighting it out on a grand battlefield with a big dude who turns into a comet, he smashes in the earth, he goes The experience of playing Elden Ring is unforgettable, as each of its moments transport you in a way that no other open world game can. It's so easy to get lost in its many entrancing spaces, and that's what makes it so important. The next category we have today is boomer shooters. The term boomer shooter refers to two things: it being around during the heyday of the boomer, and also gun go boom. That's kind of its whole thing. And first off, in the boomer shooter category, we have Doom and Quake 3. Doom is the daddy of all first-person shooters, and Doom Guy, must I say more? You may not be able to look up or down, you may not be able to jump, and you may not be able to understand the appeal of this game because it's 2024 and I've played Titanfall 2, but holy hell, you can shoot the shit out of some demons. And it was really the first game that let you do anything like that at all. This formula would persist with games like Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, and kind of Half-Life, but I think the exemplification of it, at least at that time, had to be Quake 3 Arena. It wasn't the first at anything, but it really melded the sum of all of its parts together in such a perfect manner, allowing you to gun down your buddies with a massive arsenal of addicting weaponry, and introducing a wide range of movement which made its combat sandbox feel so much more fluid. After that, we have Dusk. Recently, we've learned that the boomer shooter genre can be perfectly replicated by an indie developer. Its fun, frenetic gameplay and low-key graphics are a neat fit for a small team. Dusk, I believe, was the game that brought this idea back to light. It showed that indie developers could use this format in fun and unique manners. Its frantic, shotgun blasting action perfectly matched to its eerie PS2 graphical style made for an unapologetically excellent indie game that revitalized a genre long forgotten. Every gunshot feels kinetic, every strafe feels strategic, and every moment feels packed full of intense nostalgia. Going down and blasting cultists is a form of fun that needs little explanation. It's fun because they're ugly, and I hate them. The final boomer shooter I want to talk about today is Ultra Kill. Ultra Kill takes all of the unabashed bloody combat of Doom and combines it with a meticulously crafted sandbox of movement in line with that of the best Quake games. Navigating its levels and finding clever ways on which to tackle its many tough enemies is a joy to balance. The speed at which you comb through its play spaces creates an addicting form of fun as you try to perfect each movement, each shot, and each graded finale. Trying to string together combos as long as possible in order to get the perfect S rank is a new addition to the genre that feels essential once you've played with it. It is the ultimate coming together of all the boomer shooter parts, and it makes you wonder where the genre could possibly go next. The final category we're going to be looking at today is 3D platformers. 3D platformers are a genre about jumping, collecting, and thinking about death. The first 3D platformer I want to talk about today is Mario 64. While Mario 64 may not have demon killing, at least he's got penguin killing.
It's just not the same.
Mario 64 is a necessary addition to the 3D platformer genre. It is both the beginning of it and quite possibly the pinnacle of it. There are so many things that Mario 64 does perfectly, from its fun level design to its wacky world to throwing Bowser off the ledge again. It all never gets old. The joy and the fun infused into Mario 64 is present as you jump through the paintings, present as you slide backwards up its stairs, and present as you collect each star. It's a celebration of video games, and it's the perfect 3D platformer. And now I gotta talk about some other games. Following that, we have Banjo-Kazooie. The thing that makes Banjo-Kazooie such an important 3D platformer is that it's not Mario. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, Banjo-Kazooie is great for a myriad of reasons. It's got a lovable cast of characters, a vibrant, beautiful world, and a killer soundtrack, but its collectathon nature and fun enveloping gameplay really stands out because it's the first notable 3D platformer that wasn't made by Nintendo. And even still, it's among very few 3D platformers to take its own foothold in the genre. I can't forget the importance, though, of the two protagonist control scheme, as Banjo-Kazooie made controlling the pair feel effortless as you collect your way through their world. That and the endless amount of heart poured into the world made it a classic that still holds up today. And finally, we have Mario Odyssey. Yes, it's Mario again. He's unstoppable, and he has nipples. It's just so unnerving. Mario Odyssey is a joy to play, as each one of its worlds is crafted with fun at the forefront, bounding through the air on the low gravity of the moon, transforming into a water thing animal so that you can skip across the ocean, and bumping into wacky characters as you seek to free their land from Bowser's clawed grip. The movement sandbox and the amount of things to do here make it endlessly replayable as you search to find each of the 1,000 moons scattered across Odyssey's 9 kingdoms, which each has a distinct style and feel to them with wholly different forms of gameplay at their helm. All this and a whole lot more are why Mario Odyssey has to be included in a list of the most important 3D platformers, as it has brought in a whole new era for the genre. All genres really are borders that we place on games. To help developers make things within consistent quality and players purchase games that are in line with what they already like. Whether you're exploring a vast land in an open world RPG, hopping and collecting through vibrant spaces in a 3D platformer, or blasting your way through demons and cultists in a boomer shooter, these genres are little more than the games that make them. So whenever you're hopping into your next experience, be grateful for the path that these games laid ahead.